Fendi, like the bag. This is the I Refuse podcast. It's Mr. Fox again of the I Refuse podcast, and this is my co-host again.
Hey.
Trying something a little different with the second episode. So, I wanted to talk about. I don't know if you've been noticing on Twitter and social media lately about white celebrities not bathing.
I saw something about this.
So it was Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis at first, right? And they were like, we don't bathe and we don't bathe our kids until they smell. And then there became this whole thing on social media where it was more context, I guess. And it was like, other people were like, we don't bathe as much because it's not as healthy. It's like too much. They felt like it was damaging the skin if you do too much showering or bathing.
Yeah, I guess soap can be hard on the skin. I don't know.
Yeah, so I was thinking about it, and I was like, growing up, we had Safeguard and Dial. If you could afford it, maybe Dove. But Safeguard and Dial, I know Safeguard for sure was like really harsh on the skin.
Mm-hmm.
But for those of us that like grow up in a household where it's like, okay, you bathe every day, comb your hair, on your clothes every day. First, I was like, what are we doing here?
I mean, if we're not going anywhere, if we're in for the day, like we're home, like not actually going to go see other human beings, and I had bathed the previous day, I didn't take a shower yesterday because we didn't go anywhere.
Right. And then...
But if I'm going out, I'm going to leave generally tidy.
Yeah, I was like, this sounds like another Gwyneth Paltrow adjacent situation where it was just like every once in a blue moon a white celebrity would come out and say or do something very random. It's like, the rest of the calendar year you don't really hear anything up from them about movies or anything. Then news comes out, I think this is the day that I'll tell people I'm going to release candles or fragrance.
Yeah.
That smells like my vag.
Yeah. The only thing I can...
Right.
Here's my comment. It's because they're not making movies. Find things to do. And wash.
Wash assholes. Clean, your never regions.
Right. Tidy that shit up.
Okay, so...
I mean, honestly.
It was very weird for me because it was like... Growing up, like I said, like, we do it on a routine basis. But we're also going a lot of places.
Right.
We also were around a lot of other people. And I think it was ingrained in me that it's part of how you present yourself, right? But this whole Holly Weird thing, where I'm just like, y'all operate and move and just do things for the sake of artistry and being creative that I've never seen anywhere else.
I mean,
in the solar system.
Be artistic, that's awesome.
Right.
But I don't...
You can't just drop stuff like that and just keep going. You gotta come back and give us...
I don't wash my kids. Gotta go. I mean, you don't wash your kids? I'm gonna go.
Right.
Because y'all stink.
And not to really try not to come off offensive, but it's like, by default, there are some people out there that have an odor. I don't know if it's in like what they eat, Which there is a connection between what you eat and what
You excrete. Yeah.
that rhymes. Look at you.
Sometimes I say smart things.
He be rhyming, y'all.
That's me.
He's the original 8 Mile. Spaghetti, spaghetti, spaghetti. No, okay. I was having a Dave Chappelle moment. Sorry. Yeah, like I remember growing up, going to a school that was integrated. Well, integrated is a reach because that makes it sound like I'm 80 years old. Um, let's just say there were different ethnicities, right? And some kids, wet dog, gym mats, just saying. But as I've gotten older, I realize there is a connection between what you eat and what you
Excrete.
right. So when I heard this news, I was like, "Oh, what they must smell like after a couple days."
Yeah.
Because naturally, we sweat, and we sweat all the time. It's just not as intense or visible or feel like it. We sweat all the time because we're doing walking. We sweat. We sweat from eating. We sweat from eating. We sweat while we sleep.
It's happening all the time.
Right.
You should wash it off.
Now, on the flip side of this, there was somebody, another white celebrity, that came out behind them and follows the same mantra. And because of the way I feel about this person, there were other areas in me that were just like, okay.
So I guess it's all subjective.
It is. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Well, we know about this.
I'm not
sorry.
gonna.
Bathe. Just wash. We don't have to, like, scrub. We don't need perfumes. We just... No soap and water. 5 minutes. We don't have to spend that much time. Wash the important areas.
When I heard that he said he doesn't bathe as much, I had to leave the room and go reapply.
You know we can all hear you, right?
So, Jake Gyllenhaal for me is in a special category for a multitude of reasons. And knowing that furry being over there doesn't bathe as much. This is a nice beverage, by the way. This is good. Cheers.
Cheers.
To furry men that don't bathe as much. Now that I think about it,
I'm just saying, if I had to be in an intimate scene, I want you to not be stinking. Just
I agree.
like, if we're going to be within a certain distance, I should not smell you before you enter that envelope. The best thing in the world for the last 18 months has been your arm's length and my, well, not yours, but a person's arm's length plus my arm's length is as close as you ever need to be to me. Sometimes that applies to you, too. Just for brief periods of time. Like, I'm going to go be in the other room. Gotta go. Give me a couple minutes.
My farts don't even stink, so I don't know what you're talking about. And we will not be airing out PII all up and through this channel. So nevertheless,
This is not a HIPAA violation.
well, your HIPAA got violated by that chair.